My name is Mark Holbert, and together with my good friend Cola here, we're going to present introductory video number 20 called Blue Sky Policies. I want to emphasize that this is almost like the culmination of the preliminary videos because it deals with the fundamental concepts of catastrophic thinking, which is to deal with remote probabilities that can occur. We can't decide what the future holds, but we do know that something is going to go wrong. The index of references, some of which are displayed here. I don't really focus too much on this one, but if there's one book to read in this whole group, it's Tragic Choices. Unlike any other form of thinking, catastrophic thinking requires imagination, creative thinking, thinking ahead, dealing in remote probabilities like in the Black Swans, but also thinking back and learning the lessons of history. The stakes may be survival of civilization itself. The essential concept here is thinking in terms of risk and uncertainty. I start with blue sky law and blue sky in stock trading. A stock that has little or no fundamental value is called a blue sky stock. It's like selling investors moose pasture in Montana, Ponzi schemes, pump and dump, fly by night, visionary oil wells, distant gold mines. That's all blue sky. Blue sky policies. We have several right now. Social Security finances by a decreasing number of people in the workforce paying to an increasing number of retirees. The federal deficit funding, which can't keep up with the promises politicians make. Green policies intended to protect the environment and endangered species, but instead create conditions for wildfires that wipe out the protected plants and the endangered animals. California, 2024 to 2025. The foundations of public policy should be based on good science that has not been politicized by facts, truth, available financing, available resources, and available logistics, and you should reach a consensus instead of having one administration go out and the next administration come in and undo all the policies of the previous administration. That was a failure of the first administration to find what they could get a consensus on so they could keep it. Catastrophic policies are fundamentally different. Facts and truth do not work in catastrophes. Caveat, catastrophic assumptions, values, and expectations in analysis and thinking requires us to discard our assumptions, values, and expectations when planning for catastrophes. In disasters, we make traditional funeral arrangements. But when there are millions of fatalities, we will simply burn the bodies and bury them without even identifying them. Policies to address catastrophes are blue sky. See the references on thinking ahead, policies that are based on risk and uncertainty, difficulty in reaching a consensus. It's difficult to convince the public of a need to prepare policies for remote events unlikely to occur, the Black Swans. In a catastrophe, information is lacking due to the fog of chaos. Catastrophe versus disaster, one of my references. Most or all of the community and infrastructure is destroyed. First responders and personnel are dead or unable to report for duty. No outside help because everybody has been affected. All nearby communities have also been impacted and the transportation is destroyed, isolating the area. And 4, community services are concurrently not functioning. News coverage is unavailable with no local reporters able to come in, no electricity to transmit or receive information. Local government is unable to govern, so the national government must take over. And 7th, military and National Guard will be invited in and martial law is welcomed in a catastrophe. To summarize what you can experience, no one will be coming to help you in a catastrophe. Looters will be shot on sight, and the fog of chaos. You're always going to ask yourself, everybody's asking themselves, what's going on? The foundations of catastrophic policies, blue sky policies, or flat reps is my way of mnemonic device for remembering it. The flat reps are financing that is left, logistics that have survived, especially communications and transportation, assumptions of a post-catastrophe world, theories, resources that are left, economics, projections, and predictive sciences. Big part of catastrophic policies is to base your response on predictive sciences like, is a hurricane coming? Is a tsunami coming? Tornado warnings? Risk management. This is the fundamental part of a blue sky policy. You're not dealing in reality, you're dealing in risk. Probabilities that something bad will happen. Step 1, identify the risks. See the appendix for more information. Identify strategic assets, those that may be affected. See the appendix. Run scenarios on how the risks will play out, especially on how strategic assets will be impacted. Again, see the appendix. Identify systemic vulnerabilities. Rank goals and objectives. In the appendix, I have the FEMA essential support functions. Make catastrophic assumptions. Begin with that as a policymaker, assume you are dead. Design the response, script and checklist so that even your mother-in-law could do it. See the reference down here. Dull disasters. Build in redundancy, mitigation, emphasize fast response, adaptability, and flexibility. Study past disasters and audit past responses, and educate the public so they know what to do and what to expect. Like I said, one of the fundamental cornerstones of catastrophic policy is to assume you are dead. Planners do not make that assumption. Everything is devastated. Institutions will fail. Government tax bases are gone. Insurance companies' investments are worthless. Bank mortgages no longer exist except as paper. The actual property that's been mortgaged is gone. And the greatest flaw of all that I see in all the catastrophic planning that's currently, disaster planning that's currently going on, is that nations, companies, banks, insurance companies, pensions, individuals, they all invest in U.S. treasuries as their emergency funds, their rainy day funds. In a catastrophe, everybody will try to cash in their treasuries at the same time. It won't happen. Catastrophic thinking, build a blue sky policy that uses foresight, predictive science, anticipation, imagination, asks questions, uses creativity, and listens to the other perspectives. The discipline of risk management should be drawn on, especially the knowledge assembled in emergency and disaster management, some of which are down here. Think outside the box when formulating public policies to be implemented in a catastrophe. Of course, this assumes you can recognize the boxes created in your mind, like that you're alive. You won't be. Tricky part of problem solving is anticipating the problems your solution will create. What's going to come up that you didn't foresee in planning? Avoid unintended consequences of policy you are proposing. Like those poor endangered delta smelt in California. They're going to get wiped out by ash and debris in the rivers. Anyway, conclusion, blue sky policies incorporate risk management, catastrophic thinking, and analysis. The key point here is that black swans are improbable and rare. The problem is the world is full of risks. We don't know that what will go wrong, but something will. Preparedness is essential for your survival. And here's the appendix. Identify the risks. I listed the various risks. SV40 was a medical research. That's the very bottom there. Y2K38 is going to happen. It's inevitable that 32-bit chips will fail, and all the rest of them. Identify strategic assets. I'm going to come out with video 16 next. There's some elements of what a strategic asset is. We can't live without it. The Chinese are buying it. Our military needs it. FEMA has identified it as a critical infrastructure or key resource. And of course, time is of the essence. How will the risks play out? One thing leads to another. Impact on finances, impact on logistics, impact on resources. You got to anticipate scarcity and anticipate adversity. Those are listed here. Compounding catastrophes. When something goes wrong, a whole bunch of things are going to go wrong. Here's the essential support functions that FEMA has listed. And then I've got all these references here for you, including there's Dull Disasters, number 2, How Planning Ahead Will Make a Difference. Came out in 2016. Talks about scripting your response so they can just automatically do it, even your mother-in-law. I've got some disaster policy references that I've consulted. Please support my efforts to become essential. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you for doing that. Under construction, I've got essentialconcepts.inc.com, and there's also the YouTube channel where you can see all of the previous videos. Please share but give credit. And then I will end all videos the same way, with a prayer for peace. Thank you.